us on many issues that relating to nuclear energy. Actually, I have not much more to add on the issues on the energy itself. I would like just to say that the reason I'm here at the panel is in the Pakatan Rakyat Member of Parliament structure. I'm in the panel of Petaling, supposed to be the shadow, what we call shadow panel or shadow cabinet of Pakatan on energy, which my counterpart is Barisan Nasional Petaling. So I would like just to discuss with everybody how the Parliament and the government handle these issues. Well, we are in fact quite glad lately because of the controversial we found through two unexpected allies. One, we have Dr. Mahathir, who claimed that he has a bad experience with nuclear, so he's not in favor of it. And we also have our FLOM, which is very much into climate change and green technology, so much so that she thinks that tsunami is caused by the neglect of us monitoring climate change. So we hope that he has more influence over her husband, and therefore we could be saved and spared from the nuclear nightmare. Friends, once Gomez and McCoy, they were both fellow activists before I was elected as Member of Parliament, and many of these discussions we have gone before. I mean, as a student in the 80s, we heard a lot of this argument. Relating to nuclear, I used to, in Australia as a student, I used to march in the Palm Sunday March against nuclear weapon. One of the dismissal argument the next day after an anti-nuke, these lunatic Soviet-inspired peace marches that coming from the government is that this lunatic thought that nuclear arm is such an easy thing to manufacture. We have good safety features, we have CIA, we have ASIO, we have all the international intelligence say that we shouldn't be so naive to think that nuclear weapons can be so easily carried around and threatening the global safety. So they think these people who exaggerated the danger of nuclear weapons was lunatic or probably politically inspired to be a closet pro-Soviet Union's communist argument. Today, to my surprise, after the anti-terrorist issues, 9/11, I was at that time I was in prison, so I can read every statement that coming from all the state departments and everyone else. The same agencies who used to tell me when I was a student that nuclear weapon is so sophisticated and nobody can possess it, say that nuclear weapons can be put into the bags and carried around in the air through the airports and not detectable, and walk around, they can blow up anywhere, including the Louvre, they can blow out the Great Wall, they can blow out everyone. Therefore, we need an anti-terrorist law to make sure that nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction, which is so easily processed by any single lunatic terrorist, will threaten the global peace. So you can see how things has changed. I'm sure when Japan built this nuclear logic, they tell the public that it's safe and it's beyond, it's tsunami protected, it is everything's free from that. Malaysia has a typical argument for that. Even if before we go into whether we are pro the energy or not, Malaysians take a very dismissive attitude that we are not in the ring of fire. Malaysia is a lucky country. We have no earthquake, we have no major tsunami, and we are a lucky country that even the, what is it called, the bird flus wouldn't come. So our governments always tell us that it will not affect us. It is clearly displayed in our parliament debate. Of course, before mostly, we have our ministers of foreign affairs where we debate about the Japanese tsunami. We ask why our citizens are not evacuated. The minister said we don't want to create public panic. We don't want to embarrass Japan. I asked the questions of why Egypt, with a few days of demonstrations, we evacuate 6,000 of our students. Is a demonstration more dangerous than radioactive? The government said, well, we have our ticket standby. Anyone want, they can come to the embassies and they can come home. So that's the attitude. We have mostly telling us today that the rare earth is safe. There's no problem, so no need to be panicked. So we have all the features, and Malaysians need this investment to continue to grow. So we constantly being told that not to worry. So leave it to the government, that they know how to deal with it better. I think this debate definitely has not gone far enough in the public. I must admit, even among Member of Parliament, we have hardly any opportunity to discuss. The Energy Ministries hold one consultation, which basically it is salesman sessions. We have pro-nuclear energies salesmen coming from America, Korea, France, telling us, Member of Parliament, why we have to think far ahead, think long enough. We have to think to save the environment. Therefore, we have to go nuclear. That's what Peter Jin said. So therefore, we have quite a contradictory situation, which it will be taking up quite a lot of debates coming few weeks. First, we are finally getting through to pass the renewable energy bill, which is a good bill. I think we support it, and we think that the people who draft it are sincere, and they will help us to improve energy efficiency if it is implemented properly. But it is doomed immediately after it's passed, because no private investors or no energy investor will be going into such an elaborate, what's it called, cost intensive in the initial investment option, when they know in 10 years time, or maybe shorter than that, we're going to have a burst of so-called cheap energy from the nuclear plant. So that's going to affect the eventual implementation of this law. And the energy planning in Malaysia, not before even we go into nuclear, we have a very kalang-kabut system. You know, long before, I mean, I and Gumit used to demonstrate against Bakun. You know, when we were told, and the indigenous people in Bakun was told in the late 80s, late 80s, yeah, and yeah, until about 90.
Well, Anwar was still the
when the early 90s, they were told that you must move out. Tomorrow the dam is going to be built, and any delay, the small indigenous community would delay the development, causing us it will cost us a major blow to our development. I think 15 years down the line, we haven't seen 1 megawatt of energy being generated from Bakun. When I went back to see the indigenous people, they said we move out, when we were kids. Now we are nenek and datuk. We have already have grandchildren, and we still have not seen the energies coming out.